Is choosing our life what we think it is? Good morning, my friends. It's John here on the back deck with a beautiful mug of coffee. I love me some coffee. I'm out here on the back deck enjoying this beautiful morning. Do we choose our life? And is it destined to play out the way we chose it to play out? I get this all the time. I get this in variations all the time. I tend to look at this from a different perspective than many, and I respect your beliefs, whatever they are. But when I look at my concept on this, I look at it from the idea of, do we choose our lives? Well, if you go back to the concept that life is eternal, we are conscious before we come, because life is eternal. Do we choose our life? Absolutely. I would say we absolutely choose our life. But I think we choose our life like we would choose our job, or we would choose our car, or we would choose our coffee. You know, we choose our life just like it's something else, anything else we would choose in life. Do we choose our life with the expectation that that life is already played out, it's fated, destined, and we have to live out the entire life as is? No, I think we choose a pathway, and we come into that pathway and we have free will. One of the biggest struggles we have with free will is, as children, we're told we don't have free will because we're told that we have to do what our parents say. We have to do what the church says. And so we have this time of life where we're coming up and we're doing as everyone else tells us we're supposed to do, because that's what we're learning, is what they're telling us to do. When it comes back to the idea of living our lives and choosing our lives, in my opinion, we always have free will. There's nothing that's fated, destined, or sacred missions. I don't think there's any of that, because that would go against everything, every spiritual book that I've ever read says we have, with the exception of a lot of the New Age modern stuff, which tells you that everything is fated and destined and pre-planned and soul contracts and all that. But none of the ancient texts say any of that. All of the ancient texts say what you think you become, you create your world, and you are the culmination of your thought. And as a man thinketh, so is he. I think, therefore I am. There's nothing good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. All those things that I talk about all the time. If they're true, and they can't be true if we believe everything is fated or destined, then nothing can be fated or destined. If they're true, nothing can be fated or destined. So we have to have free will. The interesting thing is choosing our life and coming into our life. Of course, we choose our pathway, but the path is always ours to walk. The path is always ours to go down, to experience. The path is always ours to turn and change, as our free will says. It is your faith that heals you, right? It doesn't say it's your faith that heals you unless you're destined to suffer with this ailment. It doesn't say that. It's your faith, your belief, the confidence that it's true. And as children, we've had that taken away from us because we're told what to believe. But as adults, we start to have that cognition of questioning and asking questions and feeling, more importantly, whether it's true for us or not. And when we have those feelings, those resonance, I'm very lucky. I get a lot of people tell me how much my messages resonate with them. That resonance is you feeling something that feels true to you, but might not necessarily be what you've been taught your whole life. And what's so interesting to me about it is that, did we choose the life? Sure we did. Did we make the most of our life? Sure we did. Then people will always come back with the argument of, well, what about children who died young? They chose the life. They chose the life to die young, right? They chose the life, right? There's so many different things, right? It's not fated or destined. If I'm looking at a life, I'm going to say, I would like to know what it's like to to be a child in the womb and come out and die, I would be curious about that, and I would go and experience that. Right? It literally is simply, our choice of life is free will. We get to freely choose the experience of our life. We also get to freely drive our life, hold the wheel, steer it in the direction we want to steer it. And when I look at a lot of the people who I see struggling in the world, a lot of them believe everything is fated, destined, pre-planned, soul contracted. A lot of them are very much feeling like they're wrapped into a storyline that they can't live outside of. And it's their belief that keeps them there. It's their belief that keeps them there. And I, if you don't believe as I do, I completely respect that. I'm not telling you to take what I believe. This is my personal truth. It comes from my personal experiences. I've been able to do amazing things in my life. And somebody also said, well, that was because that was what was planned for your soul contract. Nope. I was very active and in the middle of the process, and I was very much in charge of making the choices that I made. Had nothing to do with fates or destinies or soul contracts or any of that stuff. And I think it's very disempowering to think that way, because I think why try to change your life? Why try to make a better, more joyful experience? Why try to make a loving world if your world's already fated? I recently got an email, someone talking about how all these psychics had all said there's going to be World War III and a culling of the human race and all those things. And I'm like, yeah, of course they said that. That sells. You write books about that, you're going to sell 1 million copies, right? There's nothing in the future that's fated, destined, or pre-planned. There's every psychic who's telling you there's going to be a World War III is doing so because of the shock value of saying that there's going to be a World War III. I had one woman tell me one time, she was one of the many psychics who decided that she knew more than I did about my life, right, and my experience. She says, "Where are you living?" And I said, "I live in Ohio." "Oh my God, you've got to get out of there. It's going to be decimated and underwater within a year." And she started telling me all this stuff. She said, blah, 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 blah. She's like telling me this is going to be, devastated by the cataclysms of the earth and everything else. And I looked at her and I said, I don't accept the fear you're offering, number one. I said, and even if I did, if I was going to listen to a psychic about this, Edgar Casey said Ohio is safe lands. Ohio and Virginia Beach, which to me is insanity that Virginia Beach would be safe lands right next to the ocean like that. But do I listen to you? Do I listen to Edgar Casey? Well, she told me that was going to happen in 2007, I think it was. I'm sitting on the back deck in Ohio and I don't need a snorkel, right? So to me, it's, there's nothing set in the future. There is no fate, destiny, pre-planned missions. There's nothing ahead of us. There's possibility, and we have control of the experience of our life through our belief. And it comes down to, are you choosing to create a life that you want, or are you choosing to believe that you're on a track that goes to one place and one place only? And that really is what comes down to. Do we choose our life? I absolutely do think we do. Just like we chose our car and our job and every other aspect of our life, the decor of our home. I think it's all just a simple choice to be made. And I think we have complete control of it at any given moment. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day. And I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.